Sometimes, the smallest moments in life become the biggest turning points. A simple smile, a few kind words, a small gesture that most people would forget by the next morning. But what if that one small act was the reason someone decided not to give up? This is the story of a man named Michael, who learned that kindness doesn't always arrive with a loud voice. Sometimes it comes quietly. Sometimes it comes from a stranger. And sometimes it changes everything. Michael was the kind of person people passed by without noticing. At 34 years old, he lived alone in a small apartment on the edge of the city. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise, prepared a simple breakfast, and walked to a job he no longer loved. Years earlier, Michael had dreams. He wanted to start his own business. He wanted to travel. He wanted to build a family and create a life he could be proud of. But life had a different plan. A failed business took away his savings. A painful breakup took away his confidence. And after losing his father, the one person who always believed in him, Michael slowly started losing faith in himself. From the outside, he looked normal. He went to work. He smiled when people spoke to him. He answered, "I'm fine," whenever someone asked how he was doing. But inside, he was tired. Not just physically tired, emotionally tired. The kind of tired where you stop expecting good things to happen. One cold evening, after another difficult day at work, Michael sat alone at a bus stop waiting to go home. Rain fell heavily around him. People rushed past, covering their heads with umbrellas and avoiding the cold wind. Everyone seemed to have somewhere important to be. Everyone except him. Michael looked down at his phone. There were no new messages, no missed calls, no one checking on him. For a moment, he wondered if anyone would even notice if he disappeared. He placed his phone back into his pocket and stared silently at the wet street. That was when an old man sitting a few seats away noticed him. The man was probably in his late 70s. He wore an old brown coat and carried a small paper bag. He looked at Michael and asked, "Son, are you all right?" Michael quickly forced a smile. "Yes, I'm okay." The old man smiled gently. "You know, people who say they're okay too quickly are usually carrying something heavy." Michael looked away. He wasn't used to strangers caring. Most people were too busy with their own problems. The old man opened his paper bag and pulled out a small sandwich. "I bought 2 of these today," he said, "but I'm only one person. I think this one belongs to you." Michael shook his head. "No, thank you. I'm not hungry." The old man smiled. "Maybe your stomach isn't hungry, but maybe your heart needs a reminder that someone still cares." Those words hit Michael harder than he expected. He accepted the sandwich. And for the first time in weeks, someone had shown him kindness without wanting anything in return. They sat together for a few minutes. The old man didn't ask about Michael's salary. He didn't ask why he looked sad. He simply listened. Michael found himself telling a stranger things he had never told anyone else. About his failures, about his regrets, about how he felt like life had moved forward while he remained stuck in the same place. After listening quietly, the old man said something Michael would never forget. "Son, a bad chapter doesn't mean the story is finished." Michael looked at him. The old man continued, "Trees lose their leaves every year, but they don't stop growing. Sometimes losing something is just preparing you for something new." Then the bus arrived. The old man stood up and walked away. Michael never learned his full name. He never got his phone number. He never saw him again. But that small sandwich and those few words stayed with him. The next morning, something inside Michael felt different. His problems had not disappeared. His bills were still there. His struggles were still real. But for the first time in a long time, he believed his future could be different. He started making small changes. He woke up earlier. He began learning new skills after work. He reached out to old friends he had pushed away. Slowly, step by step, he rebuilt his confidence. Months later, Michael started a small online business. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks. There were moments he wanted to quit. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered the old man's words. A bad chapter doesn't mean the story is finished. 3 years later, Michael's life looked completely different. His business was successful. He had rebuilt relationships, and most importantly, he became the kind of person who noticed others. Because he understood what it felt like to be invisible. One afternoon, while walking home, Michael saw a young man sitting alone outside a building. The young man looked defeated. His head was down. His eyes carried the same sadness Michael once carried. Michael stopped. For a moment he thought about walking away. After all, he was busy. He had somewhere to be. But then he remembered the rainy evening years ago. He remembered the stranger who stopped. The stranger who listened. The stranger who gave him a sandwich. So Michael walked over. "Hey, are you all right?" The young man looked up and quickly said, "I'm fine." Michael smiled. "I know that answer." The young man looked confused. Michael sat beside him and offered him a meal. Then he listened, just like someone once listened to him. And in that moment, the kindness that had changed Michael's life continued to travel forward. We often think we need to do something extraordinary to make a difference. We think kindness requires money, power, a perfect opportunity. But sometimes, kindness is simply noticing someone, taking a moment, offering a few encouraging words, showing someone that they matter. The old man probably never knew what his small gesture meant to Michael. He probably forgot about that sandwich the very next day, but Michael never forgot. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes the biggest chapter in someone's story. So today, remember this. You never know what someone is silently fighting. You never know how close someone is to giving up. And you never know, a simple act of kindness from you might be the very thing that helps them keep going. Because a little kindness may only take a moment to give, but it can change a life forever.
Thank you for watching. Bye. Your support gives us strength to create more stories like this, so please do well to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.